that will listen to us will understand that cases like my own, and unfortunately, like Mrs. McNutt, are not isolated. I personally have dealt with, at this time, almost 1,000 cases just in the last 6 months of veterans that are, and their spouses and children, who are dealing with complex claims that are being denied over and over and over again, or being lowballed and zero rated. We are not a VSO. We are not a veteran service organization by any means. Our sole purpose is to work to try to get resolution to the manner in which the VA is conducting business. However, we're not going to sit here and lie to anybody. We are going to make sure that everyone understands that we do not agree with giving kudos to the VA. Over the last 12 years, the majority of the veterans that have come home and come into the system have filed complex claims. This wasn't a secret to the VA. They were well aware of what was coming home. You have a demographic of veterans that have spent multiple deployments, various hostile environments, come home. They are better educated now than they ever have been in history. They're also equipped with technology available that at a moment's notice they can get information to virtually any question they have regarding their benefits. The VA pictures this as a disaster waiting to happen because these are the veterans that are filing the complex claims. On November 7th, Secretary Shinseki took credit for reducing the backlog by 1/3 since March. We caution this panel and everyone involved with VA claims to don't take that as gospel, because there is a big part of the claims processing that they're not telling people. The most insignificant type of claim is not a medical claim. It's called a dependent status change. You get married, you have a child, you get divorced, your child ages out. It's a one document with one attachment, your marriage certificate, your divorce decree, what have you. Those go into claims. They are adjudicated right alongside someone who has a terminal lung disease or Agent Orange illnesses. Unfortunately, those claims, and we have been able to prove it to this subcommittee, those are the claims that they're closing and calling closed and adjudicated. And unfortunately, that does help their numbers come down. We ask that every time that you get a new report on the VA's numbers, you look at it cautiously, you question the data. They're not sending in screenshots of their work product. They're creating reports. There's almost no transparency. No one in this room can just sit down and go look at all the numbers that the VA is working on that are being generated on a daily basis. Congress has never denied the VA a single penny for doing its job. The current budget, over $54 billion, is being paid out to veterans in direct benefits. The balance of their budget that they receive right now is for administration of their business. But they're not doing business properly. I could sit here for hours and give you statement after statement after statement of egregious behavior, wrongful denials, or in some cases, deliberate malfeasance. All we ask is that you continue to press this forward. You consider our mission, which is to have a full overhaul of the Veterans Administration, completely reorganizing the way they're doing business and demanding full and 100% accountability and repercussions for their actions. Thank you again, Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Titus, esteemed panel. We're extremely grateful for the opportunity to be here today to testify and be honored to take any questions from you.
Thank you, Ms. Price. And now we will hear from Ms. McNutt. Please begin your statement when you're ready. You have the
about the
microphone on?
complex VA claims. My name is Betty McNutt. I'm the widow of Ronald Adrian McNutt, Vietnam War veteran. Accompanying me today is my attorney, Mr. Bergman of Bergman and Moore. The Subcommittee on Disability and Memorial Affairs invited me here today to discuss what has become my most complex and now 23-year-old claim. For VA dependency and indemnity compensation. I'm here for two reasons. First, I'm here seeking justice for myself and for my family. I ask VA to correctly and promptly apply the law and grant my claim. Second, I'm seeking justice for other widows and orphans of our Vietnam War veterans. In the audience today is my son, who lost his father and his best friend when he was 12. Also in attendance today is my niece, Sandra Peterson, who's the daughter of a Vietnam War veteran who also died from Agent Orange poisoning. Mr. Chairman, I filed my claim in 1990. The same claim remains pending. I waited 8,600 days of VA delays and denials. VA erroneously denied my claim 7 times. For nearly 12 years, my claim sat idle at VA because VA did not respond to my notice of disagreement. The Court of Appeals for Veterans Claims returned my claim to VA 3 times based on errors conceded by the VA. I know that VA is waiting for me to die. Without immediate attention, my claim is destined to sit idle for several more years as I wait, hope, and pray for a resolution. My late husband, Ronnie, was born in Memphis, Tennessee on December 31st, 1947. As a 19-year-old college student, he was drafted into the U.S. Army. Ronnie was deployed to the Vietnam War in 1968 and 69. On September the 22nd, 1987, at the early age of 39, he died from an aggressive form of cancer, leaving me a widow with a young son. His death came quickly from a cancer that invaded many parts of his body very rapidly. Ronnie died within 5 months. I brought a picture today of my Ronnie because this hearing today is honestly about my Ronnie. He died because of the Vietnam War and his service to his country. On his deathbed, he told me about how he swam in rivers highly contaminated with Agent Orange. Ronnie told me stories about using discarded Agent Orange barrels for barbecue pits. First, VA has not contested that my husband served on the ground in Vietnam. Second, the law presumes veterans on the ground in Vietnam were exposed to Agent Orange. And third, a medical expert provided the VA with 2 Nexus medical opinions concluding that Ronnie's cancer was as likely as not due to his exposure to Agent Orange in Vietnam. VA's Jackson, Mississippi regional office made many mistakes. First, on more than one occasion, the VA applied the wrong legal standards to decide my claim. Second, VA ignored favorable medical evidence to my claim. And third, the VA sought evidence to deny my claim. A lot was taken away from me 26 years ago, and I've done the best that I knew how as a widow to provide for my son, Brandon. The impact of my husband's death on my son was tremendous. Words can't tell you. I have had emotional, physical, and financial distress. For me, I have suffered unimaginable grief from Ronnie's death. For 8,600 days, words cannot express my suffering. Going with my VA benefits has meant going without them, has meant coming home different occasions to a very cold and dark house because my utilities were turned off. It's meant receiving food and clothing from strangers, as I sometimes came up short. It's meant begging for mercy as a repo man stands in my driveway at 2 o'clock in the morning to take my car. In conclusion, the VA's mistakes and their delays involve more than just me. It's not about just Betty McNutt. There's many Betty McNutts out there. Congress passed a law mandating that VA expeditiously process appeals like mine. However, VA routinely ignores this law. Now's the time for Congress to put teeth into that law, so other widows like myself can get accurate and prompt decisions on their VA claims. Mr. Chairman, no one should have to go through that for 8,600 days. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you for your testimony, and both Ms. McNutt and Ms. Price, thank you for being here and putting a personal view to all of us. Start with a round of questions. I know the clocks aren't up, but we'll be able to see it from this end. So to get moving on time in there, first question's for